All right, we're going to get ready for our next matchup here, folks. But we want to, again, hear from you on Twitter. We want to see those tweets. Make sure to follow us at ESL Injustice using the hashtag Hometown Heroes. Okay, so we've seen quite a diverse lineup so far, Mr. Hashimoto. The next two players are going to be a Poison Ivy and a Firestorm. Firestorm's a character that I have a little bit of trouble going up against online, but Poison Ivy, I really enjoyed playing her all the way through level 20 in the multiverse.
Right, and GrimTG will be the player who is using her also from West Palm Beach, Florida, just like I believe Viking was. And ranked 10 in the region, so still potentially in the running for that top 4 spot, but we'll see how that ends up.
And there's Grape from Kissimmee, Florida, using Firestorm. Currently a high school student, ranked 15 in his region, and he's a young player hoping to make a name for himself by competing in this program. Injustice 2 is the first game he's taking to a competitive level, and he hopes to do well enough to gain some recognition. Well, sir, you're on a live broadcast in front of thousands. I think you've got some recognition so far. Best of luck in tonight's match against GrimTG's Poison Ivy, and here we go for game number 1.
Too dangerous.
I could say the same, Poison Ivy.
It's better than being radioactive.
Ooh. Ooh.
Hey,
Point counterpoint.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Word
Fair
battle?
enough.
No, battle of fists.
All right, now I feel like naturally this should be in Firestorm's advantage just because he's fire against plant.
Sure.
It just makes sense, right?
But don't discount the power of Miss Pamela Isley. Okay, Dr. Pamela Isley, excuse me.
Oh yeah, she didn't get that PhD for nothing.
No, she did not.
Give her some respect, Josh.
I will. I'm sorry, Pamela. Okay. Nice interactable. And continuing the combo for 7 hits from TG, and he's going to take the first health bar. Firestorm's in the corner. Grape is not in a good position for game 1.
And that ended with a very, very smart choice by GrimTG. Now, that's exactly what we just saw. Her forward 3 can actually be angled, so you can do it close, you can do it far, or normal. And he actually used it almost like a long-range normal, which he's using a lot right now, and it managed to avoid the ground projectile and punish it.
Back in the corners, Firestorm. No connections yet from GrimTG. Grape trying to find an opening here, but great defense. There's one. Nope.
Each time that Firestorm uses meter on that blast, it's going to be plus. And that was a beautiful backdash in the air to bait the anti-air.
The interactable from Firestorm, able to blow up the cop car. Now trades for the opposite side, but Grape still needs a lot of help on the damage department.
Fire can be a sign of hope.
That's debatable.
Sign of hope. You need all the help you can get right now. Grape, let's go.
Should talk to Superman about that, I think.
Yeah.
They could relate. But yeah, you know, it's not too far off right now. The big fear here is that there might be this exact thing that's going on, and once she gets her zoning started, Poison Ivy is so hard to counter zone. Even for a character that has great counter zone, just like Firestorm, lands the kiss. What's the setup? Ooh, gets the reset with the forward 3.
Oh, that low opening is so good. Especially how quickly it activates the startup frames for Poison Ivy. All right, traded health bars, but Grape only 75.47 HP left.
Oh, and that was a nearly inescapable situation for Grape. He would have almost definitely been chipped out. When you're that far away and Poison Ivy has trade out, you can't push block her. So all you can do really is respect her trait projectile into her drill, into her trait projectile into drill for a little bit. You have to respect that. You have to take that guaranteed chip. And there really wasn't too much else that he could have done to escape it.
And it's a moment of patience. When it's activated, as you said, if she's going to dominate the zone game, let her dominate for as long as her little buddies out there spitting that green. Show my city some love tonight. Katana Prime, you got it, sir. One of our GameStop Hometown Heroes ambassadors. One of the hardest working people in this fighting game industry in the FGC.
Oh, very nice cancel. So he actually went into the stance, which would have been able to let him hit confirm into a full combo, but instead cancels it to keep himself safe. And Grim with a pretty early lead, but Grape, this should turn it around. Nice, uses the, oh no!
He tried to go for the stage switch, but he dropped the combo. And number of lows from a range, and there's the opening that GrimTG wanted. He's going to continue and pushes Firestorm closer to the opposite corner here, but actually backs up. Uses her trait as cover. As you said, Evan, you just gotta keep blocking.
You have to respect it. There's really no other option, and that's going to be a punish on the torpedo. It goes really far, but it actually has quite a bit of recovery once you hit the ground. So very nice reaction by GrimTG, taking the first life bar of the second game.
And more of those torpedoes hurting Grape, but not converting into a full combo. Does over 70 damage. There's another one for 55. And it's time to block.
And you see, if you try to disrespect it, you just get clipped by a little projectile, which combos into another little projectile, and you take more damage than you need to.
She does that overhead. I always get a little bit nervous.
Oh, nice conversion. Gets the full thing. And on top of that, Grape is now going to have GrimTG stuck in the corner. Now, Poison Ivy is kind of infamous for not having the best defensive tools. Not a great wake-up, not a great anti-air, but you know what? It's not going to matter because Grim is going to take the advantage himself.
That's debatable.
And there's a clash. 2 bars in favor of Grape. He's going to get some of that health back. There's a low. She blocks it. GrimTG.
Look at that patience in the corner.
Yeah.
Grim just sitting there for a really long time, and that's probably what he was waiting for. He was waiting for the opportunity to get his trait back up and just be able to zone a little bit more.
It's a false sense of security she's putting Grape in, going, yeah, I'm in the corner. Do something about it. I'm going to keep hitting you with these long-range torpedoes from the ground, meter burn them, and do this guaranteed damage. Again, Firestorm just cannot move in, and there's the trait.
Oh, nice usage of aerial mobility, but that is going to be the punish for death. That you just really cannot disrespect that. It is so difficult to disrespect that. And I think Grape just needs to sit there, be patient. I mean, in that situation, it was probably the guaranteed chip kill, so I understand why he tried to disrespect it, but throughout the rest of the opportunities, you don't want to take more damage than you have to, and ooh, you might see a switch. He's hovering over the animals.
Wait a second. Grape possibly selecting Gorilla Grodd or taking his time to take a breath, go back to his character, which he does. Back to Firestorm. Highly recommend that. If you just go right back into the match, you can be totally tilted.
Oh, yeah.
And just not execute the way that you should execute. Take a breath, pick your character, get back into the fight. You're on the ropes, down 2. And here we go. Grape versus GrimTG. GrimTG in the lead with 2 victories so far.
Begin.
And back on the same stage from last time. We're in the Batcave. We've seen this stage a lot today. Ooh, no whiff punish, but still gets a little bit of damage off of Poison Ivy's whiff down 2.
Counter from Firestorm, gets the down 1, falls back. And this is the exact spot Grape was in these last 2 games. And there's the trait. He's going to have to hover here and respect. He stands up at the wrong time. And now you need to move right when the trait expires.
Right, but he took a little bit of extra damage in there that he really didn't need to. You just have to respect it. There are players where you can disrespect it if their timing isn't good, but GrimTG has shown time and time again that his timing is very consistent.
Well, Grape's now showing some fight, is still left in this fire. Gets the logos for the throw. That's 2 throws that GrimTG has been able to counter throw.
Very, very good reactions.
Especially how quickly these characters have to execute, how quickly these players have to execute. And there's a health bar gone for GrimTG. We're seeing some fight from Firestorm.
Yeah, and this is one of the scariest places for Firestorm to have his opponent in the corner when he's got meter. He has so many plus frames. He lands the forward 3 reset.
You lack experience.
This is a completely different game than we've seen the past 2.
2-bar defense victory for Grim. But look at all the health for Grape. It's that low.
Ooh, nice flip out. That actually got Grim out of the corner, but is it a little bit too late with this much of a life deficit?
Low again. Grape mere moments away from taking a game. It's not going to be a blowout. It's going to be a 2-1 at least. Grape taking game 3.
And what a game that was. That was about 160, maybe 170% life in total still left for Grape. He controlled that entire game. I mean, we saw at the start that trait doing a little bit of damage, a little bit more than maybe it needed to from Poison Ivy, but then after that, it was just 100% controlled by Firestorm.
Now, the trait for Firestorm activates the blue flame. Does he do more damage? Or viewers that are not familiar with Firestorm, how does his trait affect his playstyle?
So he has 3 levels of trait. His trait starts out completely uncharged, and as time goes on, it charges more and more over time. So the effects are slightly different based on how many levels you have. As you can see, there are the 3 orbs. on his little chest piece that he has. Now, at level 3, he gains life back. He does damage over time if he hits you with any of his specials, and a lot of his moves that don't launch now launch. So his mix-up potential goes through the roof, his damage goes through the roof, and he just becomes a monster.
He has to make the choice of using either 1, 2, or all 3, waiting for the full charge. Well, right now he's got the low hit. The overhead will continue the combo against Poison Ivy, played by GrimTG. And Firestorm is now back in the health lead, but there's a back 3.
And he does have that fully charged level 3 trait, but we haven't seen him activate trait more than maybe 1 time throughout this entire set.
Oh! Unable to connect on either hit, so close.
Doing a nice conversion. One of the only ways that Ivy really gets a combo from her down 1. A lot of characters have specials that you can cancel into from down 1. For instance, Firestorm can actually cancel into his low blast and get a full combo, or just his normal blast. But Ivy using the background bounce, so important for certain characters.
And there's the health trade. GrimTG slightly in the lead here. There's the low, and that's the opening that Grape wants. Pushes forward.
That's going to give him the corner positioning and the life lead. Now, if he can mix up like he did last game, this is going to be very tough for GrimTG, but GrimTG has full meter. I would love to see a push block, a meter burn back 3 exactly like that.
That's
wow.
Third counter throw coming from GrimTG here, but that's not going to help him out too much. There's the activation of the trait. You see the blue flames. And he backs up just in time. Pamela Isley in some trouble. GrimTG trying to do any damage he can. There's a low again from Grape. Grape has tied it up 2-2. We're going to game 5.
Grape looks like a completely different player than the first 2 games. He has just been an offensive monster throughout the rest of this.
Oh, it's just like any Grapes, man. You got to get a little bit of time. The flavor gets better. All it needs is time.
He's aging well in this set.
I think it's a little bit funny that he's playing up against Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
Like Grape.
You know where grapes come from.
All right, enough puns. Let's get into game number 5. See who's going to take the series from the loser bracket. Grape or GrimTG. Grim starts it off with a couple hits. Meter awarded. Nice damage from Grape, but not enough.
And a nice full combo to start it off. That's going to give Grim so much space, but waste of a trait and a corner reversal from Grape. It's going to give him a lot of momentum. Grim just wasn't watching his feet. You always have to be watching that space against Firestorm.
It's a perfect type of punish when that trait gets activated and you knock it out just with 1 clean hit against Poison Ivy. Oh, and there's the first throw that was not countered from GrimTG. That was throw number 4. He got all 3 of them before.
And the interesting thing to see is that it was a throw on defense. So all of the ones that were on offense were teched, which shows that GrimTG is watching for them. But when he's not watching for them, being the one on offense himself, that's maybe when you can get those, sneak them by.
A couple lows from Grape's Firestorm do not connect, and there's that long kick overhead, the kiss and the slap. To the corner with you, Firestorm.
And if she doesn't meter burn that, it's actually like a fake out kiss. It's very mean. Oh, wow, nice back 3 with punish. All right, so this is exactly even. Both players with their full second life bar as well. So very quickly going away for both of them, actually. But in the final round of the final game of this set, and this should be huge damage, assuming there's no drop, chooses not to switch sides, taking it back to mid-screen, but that is not where Firestorm excels, not nearly as much as the corner.
No, he's trying to find that opening, and that's what he was looking for her to try to execute. Leave her forward 3.
Oh, but he's getting caught by far too much zoning. Actually clashes the projectile from full screen. Interesting choice. It's going to give him a little bit more of a life lead, and now he's going to be able to try his own zoning.
Slight advantage, but GrimTG tries to use the vine to swing in. It does not connect. Grape still in the lead. There's the other throw. Out of 5 throws, it's 3 out of 5. Low hits, block on each side.
And that could have been a whiff punish on the blast. He wasn't quite close enough to connect it, and now he's just trying to chip out Grim. He's been trying to win this entire thing without letting Grim clash, and it seems to be working. 1 more hit, but if Grim can get some momentum, get that trade out, it could be very, very good for him. But now he's got to be careful. If he throws out anything while these fireballs are coming in his direction, he's dead.
Oh! And that's what he was waiting for. That's all he was waiting for. Come at me, Poison Ivy. Firestorm takes it. The reverse from Grape. Congratulations.
And a reverse 3-0 is so difficult to pull off, especially when those first two matches looked very, very tough for Grape. But overall, he decided to, first of all, play a lot more aggressively. He controlled so much as soon as he got Ivy into that corner. And the other thing was he started playing the neutral very, very smart. As you saw, he even won the entire set with that meter burn back 3, countering Ivy's own forward 3, which Grim really liked using as a footsie tool. It was catching a lot earlier in the set, but the adaptations were there. And so a very nice set by both of these players.
Both of them for sure. The adaptation was the key term, the key word for that last matchup, and that's what we saw from Grape, and that's what you can do when you play this game for multiple hours and start to adapt to your opponent. So, still staying alive is Grape. He's going to be facing Beyond Toxin a little bit later tonight.